Hey everybody, Matt here with Most Adequate Collection. Today I'm just going to go over the different cards that I got through the month of January. I know a lot of content creators do things differently. Some do the end of the month presentation, some do them as they come in week by week, but I haven't showed off any of my new cards yet, and here we are at the end of the month, so I might as well just do my month-long recap. I got a few items, nothing too spectacular, um, nothing major, nothing too expensive or valuable, but a few items that I think have a really good spot in my collection. First one I got is a rookie card from Topps Inception of Chicago Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong. And I actually got this. Well, I kind of went through a bit of a rabbit hole to get this card. I It was brought to my attention on a Facebook, eBay ad, one of those kind of things where the algorithm kind of figures out what you want or what you're interested in and shows you some items from eBay on your Facebook page that you might be interested in. And I saw the black version of this. Now, the black version apparently is the case hit. It looked great, looked fantastic. So I click on it just to kind of see what it is. The guy who listed that particular one listed it for about 600 bucks. Way out of my budget, of course. But then knowing that that's the case hit, wonder what the regular version would be. Next, I found a PSA 10 graded version of this card for 100 bucks, which is a lot better than 600. Still looks great. As you can see here, it's the same as this one. But as I'm looking for that, I was really just scrolling to see, because that one was listed as a buy it now. I was going to see what an auction would go for, or maybe get a little bit cheaper than that. But then I found this one ungraded and a couple others. But this was way cheaper, even obviously, than the PSA 10 would be. I ended up getting this one for 12 bucks. So starting at $600, going down to $12. Great looking card. I think this is my second PCA rookie. And I say that because if I remember right, a couple years ago, I got just a blaster box of 2024 Topps. I think it was Update, and I'm pretty sure I got the Topps base rookie card of him too. Problem is I set those aside somewhere, and I'm not really sure where it is. It's somewhere, probably in one of my boxes that's just unorganized, but I'll find it one day. And if not, I can just buy it on eBay for probably even cheaper than I got this one for. Not a huge deal. Next up, I got hockey. We got a Shane Doan autographed signature renditions from 24-25 Upper Deck the Cup. Every year, right around spring training time, and kind of we say that we do it then because my daughters have spring break then from school, but we make a trip down to Arizona. We live up here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, North Dakota, Minnesota. And so it gets my parents got a house down there for I guess to do their wintering down there now that they're both retired and kind of enjoying their twilight years. But Christmas gift every year is they get us tickets to fly down and spend a week down in Arizona. It works out perfectly because I get to go see the Cubs for spring training. We've got a lot of other things to do there: zoo, water park for the kids. But when the Arizona Coyotes were there, that was also the time that hockey season was still going strong. So I could see some spring training games, see a couple NHL games, and with it being the Coyotes, the tickets were super cheap. But became a big fan of Shane Doan, notably just because of how well he's respected, how well he treats people around him. He's known as being a super nice, super friendly guy. And when I would wait outside of where the players would pull out of the parking lot, there was a crowd of people, a relatively small crowd, but wait for autographs. And usually after the games, maybe 3, 4, or 5 players would stop as they're driving out. They'll kind of pull off to the side where we were and just sign autographs for the fans. And Shane Doan was always one of the ones who stopped. And the nice thing, too, is that he operated under the first one in, last one out philosophy. And so it was always a good indicator for us that once he came, then he's the last one, it's done, time to go home. But this particular card depicts his jersey retirement ceremony from 2019. I wasn't there for this because it took place in February. We hadn't gotten there yet, but I was a subscriber to the NHL Center Ice package at the time, and I do remember watching this on TV. So it was a special item to add to my collection. I got this for about $20, and if you're not familiar with this particular product from Upper Deck, this is their high end of the high end. It used to be, I remember when I was doing some regular pack ripping, I guess you could say. I think I was looking into maybe doing one of these back then. Would have been, what, 2013, I want to say? So 12, 13 years ago. Didn't, because the boxes there were about $500. Way out of my price range. Even more so now. I just looked it up out of curiosity. A box of these, which I don't know, it's around 7 or 8 cards. About $2,000. Now, out of a $2,000 box, one of the cards you get out of it is this one that I got for $20. So if you ever needed a reason to just buy singles, there's your reason. But a great item to add to my collection. Happy to have it. This next one is one that it's kind of, I guess, an oddball purchase. So it's nothing that I really needed. Not a player that I really follow or familiar with. He's honestly known more for this particular card and the image on it than he was for being a great ball player. And I don't want to say not that he wasn't great. Anyone who makes it to the majors is good. Even the worst major leaguer was the best person from their local town when they grew up. So I don't want to be insulting there, but this kind of is his claim to fame, and that would be this Oscar Gamble Topps Traded card. Obviously known for that afro poking out of his hat. That was a card that I became aware of as a kid, and it's one of those things of when you're young and you look back at fashion of years before, and it seemed cool at the time, and I'm sure it was, but it looks goofy to you as a kid 20 years down the road. And I say that because the way I felt about this card as a kid is the way that my daughters feel when they look at photos of me as a kid when I was 13 years old in junior high school, and I had what every other boy in 1993 had, which was that, I guess you could describe it as that mushroom cut, where you kind of have the hair on the top and then you use the clippers to kind of take the sides and the back, and you're kind of left with that. It was what we were wearing at the time. So I'm sure that their kids down the line will look at photos of them today and laugh hysterically at some of the choices they made. But anyways, I always thought this was a fun card to have. It was such a weird look, I guess. And yeah, I got it for a few dollars off of eBay. Great condition, not horrible centering, but not great. Corners are pretty clean though. And yeah, just one kind of an impulse buy, but just a few dollars here, and then I had it. Next up, kind of two cards, they're related, and that would be Upper Deck Black Diamond Championship Rings cards of Matt Cullen. There's two of them because during his time with the Pittsburgh Penguins, he won 2 Stanley Cups. I think it was 17 and 18, I want to say. I should probably 16, 17 Black Diamond here, and 17, 18 Black Diamond here. So I think it was the 16 Stanley Cup and 17 Stanley Cup. Matt Cullen grew up in Moorhead, Minnesota, which is where I live right now and where my kids go to school. He's also, I guess, the most successful Moorhead High School alumnus to make it into the NHL. We've had a few graduates get to the NHL. Most recently, Will Borgen with he debuted at the Buffalo Sabres. I want to say he's with a different team now, but I could be wrong. But Matt Cullen, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, once with the Carolina Hurricanes and twice with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And of course, being the Pittsburgh Penguins are my favorite team, these are 2 cards I had to add to my collection. He has 2 boys that are playing hockey too, And last year, Moorhead High School won the Minnesota State Hockey Championship. Two of his kids, last year a senior and a sophomore, were on the team, as well as the kid of another former NHLer, Ryan Kraft. And I think both Ryan Kraft and Matt Cullen were serving as assistant coaches for the team. But to show you how big of a deal high school hockey is in Minnesota, the championship game was played at the what was known as the XL Energy Center. I think they renamed it a year or two ago, but it's where the Minnesota Wild play. So they had their final game in the same arena that the Minnesota Wild play in, and sold it out about 22,000 people to watch a high school hockey championship game. If that shows you how big of a deal hockey is here. I think the older Cullen boy is now playing junior hockey for our local team, the Fargo Force, with the United States Hockey League. And the other one, I think there's 3 boys in total. I could be wrong. But the younger one of the 2 that played last year is still on the team. He's a junior in high school, same grade as my oldest daughter. I don't think they know each other, but it is kind of cool to have that local connection. So in hockey, we've got Matt Cullen from Moorhead, and baseball, we've got Roger Maris from Fargo. So we do have a few success stories from the area. Lastly, this was a card I already had, but modified at a private signing, Delman Young. Former Minnesota Twin. This depicts him as a Tampa Bay Devil Ray. And I got this one because I like the look of these Allen and Ginter cards signed in blue ink, especially the first 2 to 3 years, when they really had that old original Allen and Ginter look. As time has gone on, of course, you have to modify it, do different borders, different designs, and kind of give it a fresh look every year and something different. But those first couple years, they all looked like this. Very, very minimal, but white backgrounds, which always make that blue ink pop out. This signing was done by a good friend of mine, Daryl, who runs Hulkman Sports out of the Dallas area. He's a guy I met in college 20 years ago, and I've been friends with him since. We still keep in touch. But he runs different private autograph signings. This one I did about a month or 2 ago. I already had this card, so I just submitted it to him. He just did one with Nathan Eovaldi, who's a 2-time World Series champ, including 2023 with the Texas Rangers. And he has one coming up with Mitch Garver, another guy from the 2023 Texas Rangers. Now, Garver, I might do that one too, because he's also a former Minnesota Twin. Now, yes, the Cubs are my favorite team, but I live in Minnesota, so I do have an appreciation for the Twins. But anyways, if you want to see what he's got, Hulkman, HALKMAN.com. And that's kind of it for now. It's really all I had. Nothing too great, nothing too spectacular, but some cool items to add to my collection. I'm still trying to get things a little organized, which might take a long time. And trying to figure out what kind of different focuses I want to put my collection in. There's some certain players I like. Obviously, baseball, Ernie Banks, Ryan Sandberg. Hockey, being a Penguins fan, it's Lemieux and Crosby. But players of that caliber can be kind of pricey. So certainly like a Matt Cullen and Shane Doan make it an achievable collection to pursue at a pretty affordable price. So I kind of like the idea of having a couple players that are affordable and accessible, and then a couple players that are at a higher caliber that can retain a lot of value in their cards. But yeah, that's it for now. I've got some more stuff coming up next week. I think similar to what I did with baseball on my last video with the Hall of Fame autographs, I'm going to do the same with hockey. I do have some kind of an equal appreciation for both sports. I certainly have a great hockey collection as far as what I was buying probably during my last big collecting boom, in probably from about 2010 to 14 or 15, I want to say. There was a good 4 or 5 years when I was really, really into the hobby. And at that time, I was really into hockey specifically. So I've got some really cool items. If you like some of the stuff that I had in baseball, hockey for me is even bigger, at least where I'm at right now, which means that my baseball collecting game needs to be picked up a little bit. But yeah, that's it for now. See you next time. Thanks for watching.